chef and owner of the Redpepper restaurant at Castlederg, County Tyrone. I'm here to cook a meal. As a special Olympic has asked me to demonstrate how to cook something healthy for the athletes as they're not getting to their training, so that they stay healthy and eat clean in these difficult times. So today I'm going to show you how to cook some homemade meatballs in a tomato and vegetable sauce with some fresh pasta. It's all very clean, it's all very healthy. There's no deep fried, there's no additives, everything's fresh. You can see the colours here, everything's beautiful, full of colour. So we're going to start with our extra lean mince. I'm going to make 3 portions of this. There's a pound of extra lean mince, which you can buy from any butchers or any supermarkets. Try and buy the extra lean mince. It's less fat on it, it's better for you. To the mince, we're going to add 2 potatoes, which we're going to grate. We're going to dice an onion to the mince, and we're going to add some salt, pepper, and some fresh herb. This is all going to flavour the mince. The secret of this food is to get as much flavour in as you can with minimum effort. So that's what we're trying to do here. So while we're going to do this now, so we'll grate the potato. These are just normal potatoes which I have peeled. The reason we're adding potato to the mince, these are raw potatoes, uncooked. The reason we're adding these potatoes to the mince is this helps keep your mince, whenever you roll it into meatballs, it helps keep your meatballs nice and dry, so that they don't, or nice and moist, so they don't dry out in the oven. It's just 2 small potatoes. Watching your fingers that you don't cut them on the grater. The grater can be sharp. Okay. Always wash your hands as you go. It avoids cross contamination. So we add the potatoes to this. We keep a wee tub here for our waste, so we don't make a mess while we're cooking. Okay, so well, that's done. Now we're going to peel our onion, and we're only going to add half of the onion to this. So we just take the top off it, take the knuckle off, but we leave it a bit on. This holds the onion together. Whenever we're chopping it up, the onion not fall apart. Cut it in half through the middle. Okay, once it's cut in half through the middle, you take the skin off, one half, leave the other half aside. That'll do for your sauce. Now we're going to slice down our onion. Need a really sharp knife for this. We want a nice fine dice of onion. We don't want big shards or big strands of onion in our meatballs. So we just cut it nice and finely, all the way down. And like I say, this little knuckle helps keep the onion together so it doesn't fall apart. And then we go through the middle, watching your fingers all the time. And then just a nice fine dice. This will mix well through your onion or through your mince, and you'll not even be aware of the fact there's onion in it, but it helps with the flavour of it. When we get the onion in, then we're going to, again, this wee container is for your rubbish, so we're not working in mess. We keep our area nice and clean when we're working. Some salt and pepper, about 3 grains of pepper, and a nice wee pinch of salt. Seasoning is very important when we're cooking. Now we're going to add 2 cloves of garlic. The best way to peel garlic is to just take this hard knuckle off the bottom of it with your knife, like that, and again with the other one, and then just put the flat bit of your knife on the garlic and press down, and the garlic should just pop right out. And then you have your container here of throw your rubbish away. So again, you have the knuckle off the bottom of it, press down, and the garlic will pop right out. And like I say, we're working clean all the time. Now, we're going to chop our garlic up. And again, the best way to do this is to use the heel of the knife. Just press it down into the garlic with the heel of your hand until it gets flat like that. Press it down in, put all the garlic together, and then just using the blade of the knife, just pull the garlic back towards you. This keeps your fingers away from the blade, avoids you cutting it. And there's heat in garlic, which means if you get a large piece of, and then you end up with a nice garlic puree just like that. And they say all I done was just pull the knife back towards me. Scrape your board, get all that flavour off your chopping board. Garlic goes in. And again, we're washing our hands. Now, when that's done, now we're going to mix our meatballs. Again, it all depends how many you're making it for. We usually allow 5 meatballs per portion. So I'm going to make enough for 3 people. So that's 15 meatballs. We have salt, pepper, grated potato, diced onion, chopped herb, crushed garlic and mince, all in this bowl. You want to roll your meatballs into about, say, the size of maybe, I don't know, but that's it. So, again, you can make them bigger if you want, but the bigger they are, the longer it'll take to cook them. The longer it takes to cook it, the tougher the meat gets. Okay? So, too small, the meatball will disintegrate into your sauce and you'll never find it. So, you're talking, they don't all have to be uniform, but if they're close enough to the same size, that's good, so they'll all cook evenly. Everything cooks at the same pace, everything comes together and be ready at the same time. So like I say, I'm going to make 3 portions, which is 15 meatballs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now while we're doing this here, we can talk a wee bit about this dish. This dish is extremely healthy. The pasta is full of good clean carbohydrates. It's not dry pasta, it's a fresh pasta. It can be bought anywhere. You can use a dry pasta should you choose, but a fresh pasta is much better. It cooks a lot quicker. You don't need to cool it down and refresh it, which means run it under cold water. You can take it straight from the water to your sauce. The meat is extra lean. It's a really, really healthy dish. Nothing has been deep fried, nothing's processed, and as you can see, it's full of colour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, while we're doing that, we're going to put some heat into our pan. What we're going to do here now is seal our meatballs really, really hot. The reason we're doing this is once you seal the meatballs, you're sealing in all that flavour, all that goodness that you've put in there. And this will in turn give your meatballs loads of flavour. So, that's that done. So like I say, you can use as many meatballs as you want. Use up your whole mix. Get all the meat all in the balls, get it all used up. So we need our pan to be really hot, and when our pan's heating up, we're going to boil some water. The reason we're boiling water is to cook our pasta. So I'm going to boil the kettle, put some heat onto this pot, and get ready to go. We have our oven preheated to 180 degrees. So when we seal our meatballs, what we're going to do is transfer our meatballs to the oven and make the sauce in this pan, so one pan does all. We're not having a whole pile of pots and pans, a whole pile of dirty dishes, because cleaning up's never fun. This is some oil, rapeseed oil. We're going to put a small amount of this, about 2 tablespoons. This is low in fat. It has a high heat rate, it means you can heat it up really well without it burning. It has good flavour in it, and most importantly, it's made here in Ireland. So, you'll know when your pan gets hot and the oil starts to run really freely in the pan. And when the oil's nice and warm, we'll put our meatballs in. I'm going to show you a wee tip for your meatballs to avoid them cooking, or to avoid them sticking if you haven't got a non-stick pan like me. A wee tip for you would be to get a flat tray like this. Give you a flat tray, another sprinkling of flour. It's just another wee tip to stop your meatballs sticking to the bottom of your pan. A wee bit of salt. And again, everything's still on a nice heat. We're just going to roll our meatballs in the flour. You don't have to do this. say my meatballs won't stick, but if you don't have a non-stick pan, it's just another way of ensuring that your meatballs don't stick. So into the hot oil we go. As you see, they're starting to cook already. The oil's nice and warm. And we're just looking, you can hear them cooking. What you're looking for here is to hear them frying. You're looking to seal in all that meat flavour, all that meat juice into your meatball, so your meatball stays nice and moist and full of flavour. It doesn't dry out. So the best tip for cooking now is your ears. Now listen to the meat cooking. If you don't hear that noise, then your pan's too cold. Don't add any extra meatballs when it comes to the temperature. And while the meatballs are in there, we're just going to give them a little bit of salt. We're going to put a little bit of salt into our water. And like I say, seasoning is really important when we're cooking. This is when we get our flavour in. Okay? As you can see, they're starting, because we've coated them in oil, they're moving really freely. Nothing's sticking. Everything looks good. There's no juice coming out of the meatball. The pan's completely dry, as you can see. So all that flavour is staying in the meatball. Okay, so we're just going to turn them over. Again, just use a spoon. Because, you know, I do this daily. My hands are used to the heat, but just flip them over with a spoon. Colour them on all sides. A nice even cook. And while they're doing that, we're going to start to prep the ingredients for the sauce. So, for our sauce, we're going to put some nice fresh vegetables in there. We're going to use some nice carrot, some fresh leek, the rest of the onion that we didn't use, and some garlic. Okay? And I say we just keep our area nice and clean as we're working. That way then, we haven't got a lot to do when we're finished. We can sit down and enjoy our meal. Okay? Now in the restaurants we have to be particular about how we cut things and how we present things, but when you're at home, you just keep your wee container for your rubbish. When you're at home, just cut it however you want, however you like, but I'm just going to show you how to do it in a professional manner. The onion is the same as you done for the meatballs, only not as small, but it's the same process. You keep the knuckle on the back of the onion, you slice it nearly all the way down. Again, you go through the middle, and then you just cut it into a nice fine dice. Using up all the onions, not wasting any. The same with the leek. Cut it in half through the middle. Cut it into nice long strands about the size of a matchstick. And then again, into a nice dice. Right. Every once in a while we'll just turn our meatballs over. See the beautiful colour on this meatball? That's what you're looking for. Again, you can see that there's no juices in this pan, which means the meatballs aren't boiling in their own juice. They're actually frying, so all that flavour has been sealed in. Now we're going to get a bit of carrot as well. And again, this is 3 portions, so I'm going to use more or less the full piece of carrot. You square it off at the end, that way then your carrot won't wobble. It leaves it steady for you to cut. Again, you're going to cut it the same as the leek, into matchsticks, keeping your fingers back all the time. The carrot will be the first ingredient we're going to add to this pan because it's the most dense, it needs the longest to cook. Again, into matchsticks, like that, and then you turn them around and go again. You don't have to be as particular as what I'm being. You can just cut them up rough if you want when you're at home, but this is just how we do it when we're at work. We like everything to be uniform, everything to be the same size, so everything cooks evenly, everything cooks at the same time, and it presents really well on the plate. But this is just, like I say, this is just restaurant work. When you're at home, you can be a bit more relaxed. So, now that we have the carrot all cut, we're going to transfer our meatballs into an oven-proof tray. to start to assemble our sauce. Okay, so all we simply do is tip it away from ourselves so that we don't splash. Put the pan straight back on the heat. Transfer these to your preheated oven at 180 for approximately 7 minutes. Okay, so that's it, man. Now we're going to assemble our sauce. Our water is still pumping away for our pasta, which is good. In goes our diced carrot. Another wee splash of rapeseed oil. You can see all that carrot instantly, it's cooking. Carrot's sweet, it's releasing its natural sweetness. We're going to add our leeks and onion. Keep that moving nicely. Don't let it burn. Keep an eye on it while it's cooking. The leek could burn really quick. If the leek burns, it'll end up bitter. If it does start to colour on you, just turn the heat down or push it off to one side till you're ready. We're going to crush 3 cloves of garlic. The same principle as before. Take the knuckle off the bottom of it. Press down on each clove. 1, 2, 3. The skin will come right away from it and you'll just be left with a clove of garlic. It's really that simple. And now we don't have to be as particular with this as we were with meatballs. We're just going to roughly run our knife through it. Keep your hand, the heel of your hand on the flat part of the knife. This controls the knife from leaving the board, and just rock the knife back and forth, crushing the garlic. So my heel is here, and all we're looking for is that. And then we're just going to transfer that to our sauce. And again, now we wash our hands. You can see the garlic and the leek is starting to take on a little bit of colour, which is what you want. So with that done, we're just going to move it slightly. You can smell the onion, the garlic, all releasing the flavours. Now we're going to add some seasoning, some pepper. We're going to grind about 5 times. Some table salt, about half a teaspoon. This is some tomato puree. This is the base of our sauce. We're going to add about 2 tablespoons. Like I say, I'm making 3 portions. If you're making 1 portion, you would add 1 tablespoon. Because I'm making 3 portions, we're going to add a good squirt of tomato puree. Okay, so that's about 2 tablespoons of tomato puree. You need to allow the tomato puree to cook out ever so slightly. And all we do now is we combine our vegetables in the tomato puree, like so. As you can see, the pan is still very dry. There's no oil, there's no butter, there's none of the juice left in the meatballs because we sealed all that flavour in. Okay. I like to keep a wee container of water for all my equipment. Now we're going to add 2 tins of chopped tomatoes. These are just normal tins of chopped tomatoes. If you were making 1 portion, just add 1 tin. Okay? So, it's a very simple sauce, but it's full of flavour. Again, we're working clean, we're working tidy. Everything has a place to put everything away when we're finished with it. All the rubbish goes in here. You can hear the heat in that pan starting to cook now. Those tomatoes boil instantly. And I say, if you're making 1 portion, that's all you add. But we're going to make a couple of portions, so we're going to add 1.5 tins. Now we're going to take the empty tin of tomato puree, or chopped tomatoes. We're going to fill it up with water. And we're going to add that to our sauce. Now we bring this to the boil. And while it comes to the boil, all them flavours, all that goodness that was on your bottom of your pan. It's starting to lift up. It's starting to flavour your sauce. So check it. Yeah, that's good. You can get the sharpness of the vegetables. We need a little bit more salt. Now we're going to get some Parmesan cheese, and we're going to grate a wee bit of Parmesan cheese to finish the dish. You can buy Parmesan cheese already grated. I like to buy it, I know this looks like a candle, I like to buy it in a log like this, but it comes already grated. If you're in the supermarket and you're buying your things, you don't need to grate it yourself. It comes already grated, and Parmesan cheese is a salty cheese. So the best advice I have to you is add a little, taste it. If you feel like it needs more, then add a little bit more, because you can always put more in. You can't take it back out again. Now, we're going to grate some Parmesan cheese. Like I say, you can buy this pre-grated. We have some beautiful fresh basil here to finish the dish with. This was in last minute, but you can use flat leaf parsley or normal parsley. Try not to use dried herbs. Dried herbs have got a chalkiness or woodiness to them, and they don't really do anything for the dish. They're fine if you can't get fresh, but when you put all this effort making fresh, you're better just to go that wee bit more. You can grow your own. We grow our own herbs here. Just buy them in a pot. If you want to put them in your window, they're always nice to have. Right. There we go. Some beautiful Parmesan cheese. Now with us doing that, now we're going to cook our pasta. If you were using dried pasta, you would have your pasta cooked by now, because dried pasta takes a lot longer than fresh pasta to cook. It takes over twice as long. This will be ready in minutes, whereas dried pasta can take anywhere up to 7 to 8 minutes to cook. Okay, we're letting that sauce plump away. We're letting the tomatoes and the carrots and the garlic all do their thing. We're just moving it once in a while so it doesn't stick. As you can see, we want the carrot to be cooked the whole way through. That's just not quite there yet. It needs a wee bit of salt and pepper. And this is where you're relying on your taste buds now for your own personal taste. Okay. I'm just going to check our meatballs to make sure that they're okay. Now they're not really ready yet. The way you test the meatballs is ready is the more it cooks, the more firm it gets. Let me just break this one for you. They're just not quite there yet, but what we'll do now is we'll leave them out. We don't want the meatball to be overcooked and dry, and while they're still a little bit pink in the middle, they'll finish out cooking in the sauce. The heat of the sauce, the heat of the meatball at the minute, it'll carry on cooking, and then you're going to end up with a perfect product at the end. Your meatballs aren't going to be rubbery and tough and dry. Now, again, you need to be watching your portions. I usually allow a good handful of pasta per portion. You just move it ever so slightly. This is all we're going to do. We're just going to let the water catch it. Just let the pasta loosen up ever so slightly. Keep your sauce going. Don't let it stick. Don't forget about it. We're going to add our Parmesan cheese, a good handful of Parmesan cheese. This is the only bad bit of this dish. If you want to stay super healthy, don't put no Parmesan cheese in it. Or just put a little in. But we are cooking a pasta dish. It is a meatball dish. It's a tomato-based dish. It's an Italian dish. Parmesan cheese is a classic Italian cheese. It completely changes the sauce. It enriches it. It brings it to a whole other level. You can see how thick it has got right away. How beautiful, and it's just amazing. Now we're going to add our meatballs. You can see the water starting to boil. We're going to add our meatballs and our sauce. Okay? I'm just going to turn this off just so you can hear me at the end. Or I'm going to turn it up. Okay, the rest of the cheese goes in. The pasta is ready to come out. So what I'll do now with the pasta is I'll transfer it into a bowl. If I had one, we'll just use the meatball bowl. Okay? And we get a set of tongs. Okay, so we just lift the pasta out of the water. Like so. Beautiful. We take some of our sauce. We coat our sauce in that pasta and all that vegetables that you took the time to cut so perfectly. Beautiful. We take some of our fresh basil. Just rip it with your finger and thumb. You don't need to cut it. Basil bruises really easy, and once you bruise it, it turns black. This will add another level of sweetness to your dish. Okay? Now we're just going to coat the pasta in that sauce. You can smell the basil, you can smell the tomato, all that fresh garlic and herb. Now, and then we just build it on the plate. Some beautiful fresh pasta. And we lift out 5 meatballs. And then we just take some of our sauce over the top. We just clean the plate. And that's it. Some beautiful fresh pasta with homemade meatballs and a tomato ragu sauce. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy it.